welcome to the group chat where we talk about politics, culture, and everything in between. What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I feel like this year is just like coming to a close really, really fast. Are you ready for the holidays?
I am really. I'm ready to, kind of sit back and just relax for a second, if I
Hmm.
can. But yeah, get back and enjoy some family time. It's chaotic out here, but being able to take that time and enjoy it with your loved ones, that's key. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Have you done all of your Christmas shopping?
Uh, I don't really do the Christmas shopping.
Oh, you don't do
That
it? Oh,
I
look at
just see
you.
the I see the charges that
Oh,
they come on my on my card, and I'm just as surprised as the kids during Christmas
oh,
Christmas morning when I see what they have. Oh, that's nice.
oh,
But
that's nice.
yeah. When they thanking me, oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. No, I get a few things, but things I get. I'm trying to do it. I guess it still is last minute right now. I'm trying
Yeah.
to do it before, a couple of days before, like I usually do. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, but my better half, she handles all of the Christmas shop.
Well, lucky you, lucky you. No, I'm behind this year. Like I actually blocked some time on my calendar later today because I was like, I gotta get on it because
Right,
I usually have my Christmas shopping done um usually by after Black Friday. But this year I actually didn't shop Black Friday
right,
because
yeah,
we're supposed to. We were both boycotting. So I was like, okay,
right,
I'm gonna do it. And then I went on as business as usual, forgetting no, you actually have to still
right.
shop. So, looking for some cool local gifts. If people have recommendations, drop them in the
Yeah,
chat.
I'm trying because the kids have so they it's hard for them to even put a list together right now. So it's like, and they're getting at that age where they don't play with toys, they don't do this, so it's like it's hard, outside of some fashion and different little things. And then I tell everybody, gift cards or throw something to
Yep,
their 529 or something like that. So that's what we're doing
that
this year.
I literally do the same thing because the I feel like the preteen era is
It's
hard
tough,
to
right? Yeah, it is.
like. I don't know what to get you,
Right,
and anyway, so
right.
that's what it is. But soon after the holidays, we have the new year.
Hmm.
Um, what do you have any resolutions?
I've been in the gym, so that's good. So I can,
Okay.
that's usually but I've started that, so that's good. I think one of the things I want to have better eating habits. I think that's my key. I'm going to cut out some of the sugary stuff. That's just
Yeah,
my weakness. I don't eat bad, but I do get those cravings at time, and when I do, it's a
it's
problem.
bad.
But I think cutting some of that out as far as my health journey, and then just I think we're gonna do more stuff with the kids. They want some more trips abroad, so
Yeah.
just doing some things just so they can just experience and see more, and especially more outside of the U.S. But just to
Yeah.
really show them more. We're gonna do an Africa trip. That's one of the big ones on there.
That's good. That's good. I think you actually hit the nail on the head a little bit. What makes New Year's resolutions better is one, it's not necessarily, it's like baby steps. I feel like people
Right.
try to do it all at once,
Hmm.
where it's like, I need to go to the gym and I need to eat healthy. And then by the time February hits, they're like, I'm hungry.
Burnt out. Right.
I am hungry and I am tired and I am sore every
Hmm.
day. And then it just, it crashes. But what has made so you said like this past year basically you've like really, really gotten into your health journey. What made it easier for you?
I think the community of the gym that I'm in, guys just train. It's a community there, and so
Good.
it makes you look forward to going to the gym. You're not thinking about oh, I got to go. You're looking forward, and you actually feel when you miss, you actually feel kind of you feel bad. And then
See.
when you're working in groups, sometimes if you miss, you're like, oh, let my group down. He might be working out by himself today or something like that. So having that, it brought back. Feel like I'm on a team again. It brings
Yeah.
back that kind of community. Even though we're not in the locker room, just brings back that kind of banter. So it's actually have made training fun. Because
That's
when you get to this age and you're not, you're training for health and other
mhm.
things. It's not as as easy when you're trying to get a paycheck or get something from playing in an
Right.
athletic sport, but it's made it fun. So I actually enjoy going.
That's good. I that is part of my New Year's resolution, and it's just more so like I had a major surgery last year and kind of been out of my routine for almost well, not almost, for an entire year.
Mhm.
Um not being able to like really lift or do stuff the way I used to. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into it, but it sounds like I need to find my gym community, or and
Yep.
then also just not put too much pressure on. um I'm trying not to put a lot of pressure on myself of like just get in it.
Yeah.
And then also for me it's you are going to be sore. You
Oh
just be
yeah.
okay with the fact you're not going to be able to walk for the first like maybe 2 weeks. Like it will be rough, and then once
Yeah.
you get through it you'll be okay. um
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, you gotta. I choose my sore. I'm gonna be sore getting out of bed whether I work out or not. So I'd rather be sore
that's
from,
true.
from working out because it's always something now. But no, yeah, you choose your
That's
sore. So working out's good.
that is so true. So speaking of the new year, we're coming up on 5 years since January 6th, or the Capitol riot, the insurrection, the attempted coup by current President Trump. Uh, where were you? What happened when you saw that? Was what, January 6th, 2021. So
Right.
we're like literally in the middle of the pandemic as well.
Hmm.
If for those of you who forgot,
Right.
Joe Biden, won a narrow victory a few months earlier, and Trump was pissed about it. So, where were you when you saw what was going down in DC?
I think during that time we were actually, on a vacation, for the holiday,
Hmm.
and I it's like one of those things where you see it, but it's like, is this really happening?
Right.
Um, to the magnitude that it was happening. You see it unfold, you hear the speech, right, going, and okay, it's gonna be some protesting out there, they're gonna be out there making some
Mhm.
noise. Is what you start to think, but then, so I'm checking in, but I'm not fully,
Yeah,
tuned
yeah,
in. Then as time goes and they're starting to storm and knock things up, that's when I got locked in because I'm like, what's going on, how's this going to end? Because they were still they were still in there,
I
the
know.
House and Senate was still in there, so it's like, I mean, are they going to get to them? And seeing video later, you see how close some of those situations were. But that was one of the things I'm like, how's this going to end? And
It's gonna
then
play
I'm
out.
waiting. Yeah, I'm like, is National Guard coming? Is somebody coming to stop this? And you notice nobody's coming, and it's like those are
It's
some of the things that. So it just started getting like, I was like everybody else. Like it was like, I don't want to compare it because 9/11 was
mhm.
horrific, but
Perfect, yeah.
it had you tuned in the same way because you don't know if it's great, and you don't know how it's going to end.
Right. Like it was just pure shock. I remember I was actually on a call for work, and uh one of my coworkers that I was talking to, I guess they were already watching TV. I didn't have a TV near me, and they were like, "Oh my God, like I can't believe what's happening." And I was like, "What's going on?" And I just thought I had heard the speech that Trump had given earlier, and I was like, man, that man's just mad. And they were like, no, you need to turn on the TV and
Right.
see what's going on. And I turned it on, and I was like, you got to be kidding me! I said, these fools are up here just terrorizing the Capitol, and they're like, all of our congressional leaders are inside, and I will never defend Mike Pence, but the fact that they were ready to like go find the vice president of the United
Right.
States was insanity.
Yeah.
Um, I also, something that stuck out to me just from like when we think of like Black History moments, right? Is that the Capitol building, most of the buildings in DC were built by Black folks. So
Mhm.
I'm feeling there was also a piece of me going, so you're going to destroy something that was built um, on the labor of my people, because you're
Mhm.
pissed off about the outcome of an election and you're going to deny it. I think what frustrates me still to this day is that and it's not so much just like the capitulation. It was that all of the GOP fell in line with this lie narrative,
Oh yeah.
right? That he didn't lose the election, and it just has perpetuated so many things in the last 5 years that have put our voting rights in deeper jeopardy than they already were. They've also, people died on that day, and that
Mhm.
I think in many ways is dismissed,
Right.
and not recognized as deeply as it should. And there are a lot of folks who are suffering from PTSD
Mhm.
as a result. But then there's also the confusion for me of like how our congressional leaders went through this kind of trauma and won't like fully acknowledge it. Now they did have like the January 6th hearings, and if now over the after the over the last year, those who really spoke out against January 6th, became part of this of Trump's retribution campaign,
Right. Right.
that he really pushed forward since he retook office. So I say all that to say, I think 5 years later, we're still in a precarious situation,
Yes.
right? Where
Mhm.
you don't know what's going to happen. Even 2028, are we going to see a repeat? We also know that there's like fractures within the Republican Party, even among MAGA, because of the fact that so many of the things that this administration has been doing since they've been in office harms the average person, which is primarily their base.
Right.
um, so anyway, don't let them forget. I
No,
think that's my thing. Is like, let's not, we can't forget that that
we
actually
can't.
happened, because
We
they're trying
can't.
to like erase it out of the books. Now, um speaking of things that don't make any sense, the Senate voted on the healthcare plan. So we had what, a 43-day government shutdown. I
Mhm.
think I'm right. 43-day government shutdown, all about healthcare. That's what the Democrats had, put as their main point, where they didn't want to have healthcare premium skyrocket as the Affordable Care Act subsidies lapsed at the end of this year. And so, but the end of the government shutdown came as a promise of a vote on healthcare. Well, the Senate voted today. The vote failed. Basically what happened was, the proposal that was put forward by the GOP was that they were trying to incentivize people to purchase high deductible plans, um, with lower monthly premiums, and essentially rely on their healthcare savings account, so the HSA, to offset personal costs. Anthony, is that a plan?
Not a plan at all. It's never been a plan. It's always been about just dismantling,
Yeah,
but not putting a plan in place. And I mean, it goes to the thing of, I mean, do they really want to help? I mean, do we really want to restructure healthcare? Do we really want to put things in place? Because if average American can afford you know, groceries right now, rent, how they're going to pay more for a premium or a deductible,
right,
and how they're even going to have the money to put into the HSA, to have that money available.
right.
Um, that money most likely is going to have to be used for something else.
Hmm.
So it was never a plan. I think, you know, Democrats were caught in a tough place
Hmm.
during a shutdown where something had to shake, and you put the onus on them. They said they would have a vote, and knew the vote, if it was going to be a vote, which what we knew it wasn't going anywhere. So it's yeah, it's one of those tough spots that when people start to feel it, It's going to be one of those where, telling you now, but sometimes I don't know what it takes to wake certain people up. Some people are never going to be woken up. They'd rather be in at home and still support, what they want to support, to their own detriment. But yeah, there was never a real plan, and it's going to hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. It's just that, I mean, that's just the fact of the matter is, I think coming into 2026, that's what we're looking forward to is things aren't about to get easier. Prices are already really, really high for just about everything. And now add in healthcare expenses, whether you're on the ACA marketplace or not, healthcare expenses are going up because those subsidies helped offset, specifically for ACA, but they're also they help those who don't, um, the premiums of those who actually aren't on the uh, marketplace as well.
Right. Hmm.
So insurance companies, I think it's this what we're seeing right now is the capitalist society coming to its head. Like this is what happens when money drives everything.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and and speaking of money driving everything, and I've thought this was really interesting. I listened to a podcast earlier this week, the New York Times, the Daily podcast. I listen to it just about every day, but the discussion was about how there's a little bit of discourse between liberal justices and their approach to dealing with the conservative majority. So, Justice Kagan, who has been on the court since I think 2010, um, you know, she takes a very diplomatic approach to, um, the decisions that are made, or partnering with the conservative majority. And over time, up until probably more recently, that has worked for her. Her goal has always been like, what she's called a 30% goal, I guess, or make a ruling 30% better in favor of maybe liberal opinions. Um, and Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson has come on, and she has taken a completely different approach. And the thought behind that is that she is looking at it from the lens of that, one, I think there's her very natural, like, uh, her the way she's the lens that she sees the world through is obviously very different than everyone else as a Black woman, and she's the only one that has ever been uh what's the word I'm looking for? Are
Public
able.
defender.
Yes, public defender.
Yeah.
My bad.
Uh-huh.
Whew, that was rough.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, she very much takes the approach where she writes dissents, even if she's not
Hmm.
the lead dissenter. She'll write her own opinion, and that, I guess, is completely unheard of. You don't do it when you're this junior, but her intent is to make the language plain and clear so that the public knows what's going on. And so um I want to, and she more recently, she's also called out her colleagues, her conservative colleagues, saying like they're deep in the pockets of these conservative donors. Like, again, when we talk about capitalism, like that's how it all plays together. Now, what do you? I see this as like a form of resistance. It's like we have a resistor on the Supreme Court. Uh, what are you thinking?
I think the only way to make any change is to make noise. I mean, you have to come
Mhm.
in and make noise. You can't go. The status quo has got us to where we are right now. Um, and if it remains that way without any resistance or any noise, it's going to continue and it's going to get worse and it's going to build and build and build. You have to make noise, and you have to, by her writing those dissents, it gets to the people and the people get to see. The people are going to be the ones who create the resistance and force a change. Like when their voices are heard, it creates a change. So being able to do that, document in real time, know what's going on and call them out. You have to call them out.
Absolutely.
um, and each time it builds. I mean, at one time might not be as effective, but after three, four, you start to see the pattern and people catch on, and maybe some more courage comes on somewhere, or something happens. But what she's doing is the right thing. You don't come in, you don't sit in there, be quiet. You don't sit in there and the status quo because you'll never make any change, nothing, and it'll continue. And if you know the direction it's going, and you know that it's not for the people, you know it's bought, you know it's for for one side. And if you sit there and say nothing, then you might as well join because you're not making a difference by just being there, sitting there, being quiet.
Absolutely. So we do have to wrap up here pretty quickly, but I wanted to talk about Shedeur Sanders. So I'm not built like him. Break it down for us. That's all I know is I'm not built like him.
Man, I mean, this kid is showing a lot. Not only he's showing out on the field now, he's showing
Yeah.
what everyone thought going into the draft, why he would be a high pick because of this potential that he has and
Mhm.
his talent that he has. That now that he's getting the opportunity to finally start to practice with the first team, to get the reps, he's showing it on the field. But man, he's showing it with every potential obstacle, not from the opponent. He
No.
has so many obstacles from within his own organization, and I can't even say the full organization, but I say the coaching staff. But I say the
Yes.
organization because
Head coach.
he's
From the head
yeah, I
coach.
say the organization because he's still the head coach.
Yeah.
From the time he was there, it's been every roadblock, every way that this kid could have caved, could have gave in, and like they're not gonna give me a shot. They're not gonna. So you see the pedigree that he comes from.
Yeah.
You see the way these values and this determination and this self-belief and confidence has been instilled in him,
Yep.
and that's why he's continuing to rise, with like I said, every obstacle imaginable. You come out there, you playing a game of your life, you lead your team down to a touchdown. You have the opportunity to tie with a 2-point conversion. You got the team's belief. You got the energy. And then the coach pulls you, and then runs a wildcat play in the NFL, a play that everybody can see what's about to happen.
Yep.
So it's like I'm not going to let you be the hero. Okay, you showed all that. That's enough. But I'm not going to let you be the hero. We're not going to go to the playoffs. We don't have things. So why not continue to build my quarterback's confidence, build this, continue to, I would want him to have this mystique. Okay, he can lead him back. This is his first drive. This is for the future. If I want, if I believe in him and I want him to be my quarterback, it's like, man, I'm gonna do everything possible to humble him, to set him down, and this and that. So
Sabotage.
yeah, sabotage him. So if he has his job at the end of if he's still the head coach at the end of this season, it's I'll be trying to get up out of
Yeah.
there. But yeah, I mean, but to see him, to see the way he's going, I love it. I love it, and I love the way he's handling it. You can tell he's media trained because every day they're trying to trigger, they're trying to pull something, they're trying to
Mhm.
get us, and he won't give it to him, and I love it.
Which is great. Which is great.
Mhm.
Well, that's all we got this week for the group chat. I'm Alyssa Williams, and this is Anthony Holt. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll catch you next time.